What's up, everyone? Welcome to Chuck Talks podcast number 2. I'm here with my co-host Matthew. Matthew, say hi. Oh, let me turn your... What'd you say?
Hello.
Are you eating right now?
I got some chocolate.
You eating chocolate right now? What chocolate are you eating?
I just found it in the closet.
Ew, how old are they? Like freaking
Dark 72% cocoa.
72% like dark chocolate?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's my favorite one. It's good for you too. But yeah. So it's been a long time since our last podcast. It's been like at least like what, 4 or 5 months?
3 months.
We can't hear you. Your mic is very far away.
It was like 3 months.
Yeah, it's been a while. Let's catch up a little bit. Tell me about you, then I'll tell you about me a little bit, because it's been so long, so people probably wants to know what's happening with your life right now, dude.
Pausing. I got a job. I work now.
Yeah,
so I don't
finally.
game as much.
Yeah,
I read
that's
a lot of books, you know.
for business, eh? To invest in stuff so you can make that good money, you know?
I got some books that were supposed to come today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Like all the package you get, I feel like, well, except for your new microphone, you got it really early, like way before like your due date. But everything else, I feel like it's already late. Like your booster for your mic, when is it supposed to come? Like arrive?
Well, they never gave me a date on that because obviously they still have to order it.
Well, you said they were in. It was in Montreal at the moment, right, or something like that.
It says it's in Montreal because that's where the package is gonna come from.
Yeah.
But they have to order it, and they said from Japan
Uh-huh.
because the company is a
Japanese company. Yes, indeed.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I got right now.
I know you modified your PC because you started you started working. Your goal, I guess, is just to invest and like get a new PC, and after that, invest most of your money. Because I know you're going to university after school. You're almost done with school, right? You already finished your first semester for 12th grade, and now you're going to your second semester starting next week, right?
Yeah, I got 1 more semester, and then I'm going to university, and the university I have has a program where they give you $1,000, and then with that $1,000, you can invest it into anything you want. Whatever profit you make goes right towards your tuition.
Yeah.
And if you make less than that $1,000, then you owe them money.
You never told me that. I didn't think. Yeah, you never told me that. That's I didn't know that. What the heck? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I learned about the new, I knew that it was a thing that you could invest, but I learned about the profit and
yeah, okay.
thing then.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I get that.
But they'll obviously teach you how to read stocks and all that, right?
Yeah, it's is it like the thing with the what is it like? You have like a monitor or anything, then you have like a bunch of spike, and if the spikes move, that's when you need to like take back your stock or something like that. Or that's something else, right?
They actually have a room where you can just go in. It's actually one of the classrooms. It's a max of 15 people per class, and I'm guaranteed a spot because of my grades. So I go in there, and then I'm guaranteed it first year because of my grades.
Yeah.
But I have the chance to do it every year after that as an elective.
Okay.
And
I didn't know that.
And so I can just take that over and over again. So I can just basically keep making money.
Okay, that's nice. And what else about you? Then I'll tell you a little bit. Well, I'll tell everybody else about me a little bit more, because you already know everything about me, and I know everything about you because we've been talking for the past like couple of months. But what else you can tell me? Because I have a bunch of shit to say.
Not much else. I've just been trying to get my life together.
Yeah, because you're almost done with school, so that's it's not stressful. It's not really a thing that's stressful, because you already have a plan. You already got the answer for your university, saying that you're going this. What university are you going? It's in
I'm going to Windsor.
In Windsor. Oh, okay. Also, you're going to the cold part of in Canada.
And it's actually down south more, and there's not much snow there usually. So.
Oh, really? Well.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people right now that they're in Windsor, and it's pretty cold.
It's a bad fucking COVID place. It's pretty much the only thing.
Yeah, it's pretty high up. Yeah, and how is it in Barrie right now? It's like in red or yellow? Are you in yellow?
Barrie, we're well, everywhere in Ontario is gray right now, right?
Yeah, it's
but like I go outside and it's like there's fucking no one's respecting lockdown rules, no one's respecting jack shit. So it's like I go outside, I can like not wear a mask and do whatever the fuck I want. Like obviously work is gonna be like, hey, don't do that, but at the end of the day, that's all they're gonna say.
You still have a life behind that, but it's very like
well, like right now, my life is pretty much just work because
work and staying home because you don't go to school anymore. You don't go at school. You're doing everything online. Like even your test. Well, it's not even test. It's you're doing like let's say a project for the class, and then after that project, you get your points, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so like business online, I got like I don't fucking know. Like an 82, something like that.
Jesus Christ. That was with who, Marco? Or no, that was Mr.
That's just like from the government.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. Well, let's see. What's up, Cal? What's up, Christian? Welcome to the podcast, guys. We'll answer all of your question at the end of the podcast. If you have any question, just ask him at the end. We'll be. How are we going? We're doing pretty great, actually. How are you doing, Matthew? I didn't even ask how are you doing. I just asked you, what'd you do for the past 3 months? How are you doing, Matthew? You doing great, I hope? Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, guys, I literally talked to Matthew like 10 minutes, like every day. 20 minutes ago, so I know pretty much everything, but I just want you guys to catch up a little bit more on us, like, because if you did follow me on Twitch yesterday, I did say like a couple of things, but not all the thing I could have said. Like the thing happened with my graphic card and everything. Just like for right now, like the stock of graphic card is very low right now, eh? Like there's nothing. Even if you look up at
I'm
like,
able to get about it and work is he is Twitch. He's a Twitch channel as well, and he knows someone who knows the owner of a pre-built PC company, and so he's getting a Ryzen 9 5950X and a 3080, and they said they'd send him a 3080 for $500 if he like calls them out and like does this giveaway. So he's thinking about just like selling it to one of us at work.
Okay,
so he's like taking bids on it. I think right now it's at like $850, still under retail, but like
really, that's like cheaper than everything. Like even the scalpers or anything, they all sell those cards for like $2,000 on like eBay or Marketplace. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's pretty chill.
Yeah, that's $800. That's did you put a bid down or not even?
I don't have $850 in my bank account right now that I could just throw out there, right?
Yeah, shit.
I gotta save a bit of money, you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty low on money right now too because COVID sucks. Like even where I live, I'm
not low on money by any means. It's just I don't really want to spend $850
on that.
Graphics
yes,
right
okay,
now.
I get it. Yeah,
considering that like, let's say like a week from now, I might get a 6800 XT for like $1,000 or something like that. And obviously this bid's just gonna keep going out because there's no fucking stock.
But yeah, there's still no stock. There's not even any stock for like 1660 or even like a 580 or anything like that. Like the lowest card you can get. Like there's still no stock for that. Well, it sucks because they stopped the manufacture of every other card from last year. So let's say the 2000 series, the 5000 series, they stopped the manufacture. So you're not going to be able to get in anymore because all like the 3000 series and 6000 series are coming in for the stores, but
it made sense, but at the same time, you're like, well, fuck, now I can't get a 2060 or a 2070 because those are all out of stock.
Yeah.
Like right now, Canada Computers only has like some GT 710s in stock.
Yeah, it's
which
nothing.
Even those are expensive for what they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just fucking crazy right now.
The thing with the graphic card or even like CPU wise, I know AMD is very good at that right now. Like they kept a really good like spike of keeping a lot of stock for everyone, but because of all those what's it called again, bots, and it was gone in like a day when it came out. Like let's say the CPU, the new 5000 series, it's pretty old.
They were gone in a day, but right now you can pick them up like anytime.
Oh really? Well, it would be more on the side in Toronto.
Available.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks in Canada is the US gets their stock before us, or it's something like that. And then we get it after, but if there's no stock in the US, well, we won't get any stock because the stock is either they come from what Japan, China, like stuff like that.
AMD's Japan, China.
So yeah,
But yeah, like you go on Canon computers, go on anything, and you'll find 5950s, 5900s, 5800s, and 5600s. That's no problem. See, the thing with CPUs is like not as many people will upgrade their CPU, right?
yeah,
Especially to the higher end ones, because most people they'll go, okay, well, what games do I play? I play all of these games. All of these games are mostly graphics bound. I like Call of Duty. You get like I have a 3100 in my system right now. That's pretty much the best you'll need to run Call of Duty on the highest settings, right? Like you'll maybe lose like 20 FPS in the long run.
yeah. But
Which,
even
yeah,
us, like,
is impressive for like most things, but in the long run,
but after a while, it
Doesn't
gets pretty
matter.
annoying because you do play COD, you do play Call of Duty a lot, but you're playing at like what,
Yeah.
720p? Not even.
I think I'm at 468p right now.
And getting what, 60
I
FPS?
get like anywhere from 60 to 100 FPS.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
But that's on like everything's lowest with motion blur off.
yeah, it's like I had the same thing for me. Like with my RX 460, yes, it's a very CPU heavy game, but you still need a graphic card to get like more FPS and like to put all your settings to like at least 1080p or even 4K if you have a 4K monitor. You know, it's like it's not even doable to do anything. It sucks. Even let's say one of our friend Dominic got a graphic card, but he was literally one of the last person to even get a graphic card.
Like when we told him he should get it, the 6900s were about to come out the next week, and everyone knew they were coming out, and we're like, why don't you just wait, spend a bit more money, get one that'll last you a lot longer? And he was like, oh, you know, I already got this. This is plenty for me. And AMD did a really good job with GPUs. They were out in stock in stores up until like 2 weeks ago, in like 3 or 4 per store across Canada. And then I think scalpers came, and just Canada never closed their borders.
Well, they definitely
to
did
the
for
States.
like they did
For flights.
yeah, for flights.
Right?
Yeah.
So you come in with a flight, and instantly it just becomes, well, now these scalpers can come down to Mississauga, Vaughan, Ottawa, and all these other places, and they're not having to get COVID tested. And so they're just picking up all these cards, selling them in Canada, and making profit. Scalpers are a real big problem right now, and
But
it's just not worth it.
I feel like 2020 and the end of 2020 and beginning of 2021 for like the gaming industry, like it sucks. Everybody was expecting a great game coming out from CD Projekt, like Cyberpunk 2077.
I still believe that Cyberpunk is, I keep saying this, avoid the glitches, because as soon as, and it's probably going to be another month or two, but as soon as they bring out that huge hotfix of like 20 gigs that fixes 90% of the bugs, obviously there'll still be bugs, but as soon as they bring that hotfix out, it'll probably be a great game. But it's going to be like Battlefront situation where with it released, everyone crapped on it, and then it went, well, we're not going to try that. But now, since it was free with Epic Games, everybody's trying it and they're loving it. So I think a situation like that will have to happen for people to buy Cyberpunk.
What happened though with the last update from Cyberpunk 2077 is the new update 1.1 update introduced a big breaking bug. That's the thing I'm talking about. Like, they did a patch for the game to fix some stuff, but it made it even worse. So the load and game save before isn't working. You can't even finish conversation. It frees everything. And right after you finish the conversation, you either skip back to like where you were before, or like you stay there and you need to restart the game. So you can't even finish, let's say, the story. That's the thing that sucks. But like as an overall like open world game, if you don't even do like, let's say you decide to not do the quest or the story and everything, you can, it's still they did fix a couple of things like a like texture bug and like all the car flying around and stuff. But the patch, the 1.1 patch that came out, when did it came out? 2 days ago or something like that?
5 days ago to open GOG, and it just came out.
It is we're still waiting for 1.2. Well, I didn't play.
I think it'll probably be 1.3 before the big glitches are out. Maybe even 2. Maybe even like a 2.0 patch before the game is like completely playable. But I think because you can get it on CDTs now for like $40.
Because CD
If you-
Projekt did say CD Projekt is also planning another major 1.2 patch that is supposed to be a larger, more significant update that will arrive in the weeks after this patch 1.1. So that would say next week, like it's start of February.
Like the other big problem with Cyberpunk is it was pushed to release.
Yes, but
They said they wanted to delay it again, but investors and all that, a lot of them pressured them to release it.
yeah, that's why they're
because
getting
they thought
sued.
that-
Yeah.
They thought that if they wouldn't release it this time, it was just going to be canceled and investors wouldn't have gotten their money back.
What's
But
the thing you were talking
in-
about, like that people, like I know the public pushed, like, sorry for cutting you, but the public did push a lot of like a CD Projekt of saying, oh, stop pushing it back, just release it already. But
Yeah, that's
it's not the only
public
fun.
pushed it. The public pushed it, and obviously, like CD Projekt Red cares about the public.
yeah,
But at the same time, it's like they don't want to release a game that's riddled with bugs.
exactly.
So they kept on pushing it back, and that's why it got delayed like 3 years from
Oh,
its
yeah.
original release.
Yeah.
And-
We did talk about it last time. Nvidia. What happened with Nvidia and CD Projekt or something like that?
Yeah, so from what I understood about the court cases right now is CD Projekt Red will most likely remain unaffected by these court cases. The reason why I say that is because of how Nvidia has played a part in it. So obviously it has ray tracing, which means that it's partnered with Nvidia.
Yeah.
Whether it has that big AMD logo as you boot the game up, because of ray tracing and its RTX setting in the game, it is partnered with Nvidia. They were actually going to cancel the game about 2-3 years ago, but then Nvidia stepped in with basically their entire budget that they needed and said, "You're releasing this game." So they made a whole new engine, and so that's why it kept on getting delayed, because they made the engine and then they went, well, now we need to transfer everything over. But the engine wasn't done, and Nvidia was really pressuring for the first release date for it to come out with RTX 2000. You know, it's gonna be like a surprise launch. Which, if you actually look back at some of the rumors, there was a rumor of like a game coming with the graphics card for free, which was now looking at all this, a lot of people think it's Cyberpunk was supposed to come out with the graphics cards, but it just never panned out because of all the delays. So then they delayed it. This delay is a lot less known to the first official release date that they came out with, and then at that point, COVID was about to hit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit, they were on track to release it, and it was going to be about the same release as we got right now, with a ton of bugs, but it was going to be under $80, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Right now it's what?
But 80 for like the special edition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so that was really like their main strong point at that point. But then Nvidia pressured to release it at $80, according to this insider that I've read a few files from. And then it kept on going, and eventually the December 10th release date came around as their final release, and at that point Nvidia said, if you don't release it that day, we're pulling out our money. And so they had to release it that day, but because of COVID, they weren't able to work on it as much and as well as they were hoping to. So they basically just said, we don't want to have to pay, I think it was like $8 million to Nvidia.
But that's the
So they
thing.
just released it.
A lot of investors invest in the game like way before it was released. They probably started investing at CD Projekt, at CD whatever. When the game was announced 7-8 years ago, like
it was E3 2013.
Oh, that's Jesus Christ! It's been so long. That's the thing that pissed me off a little bit. That a lot of people was expecting a big stuff, like a big thing about this game. That's why, in a way, I wish they would have waited and not like, yes, the public wanted the game, but they should have just waited like a little longer.
But that's the other thing, right? It's from a monetary standpoint. You go, okay, if I gotta pay all these people, $8 million will probably cover all of their expenses for all the people that we hired over the course of since Nvidia invested. So then they go, okay, well that's fine. And then Nvidia comes around and says, if you don't release it, we're pulling out. And then you're looking at it and you go, okay, well if they pull out their $8 million investment, how the fuck do we get the staff paid? How do we get this paid? How do we get that paid? So in the end, it just becomes, we have to release this. And so they release it, and then it goes on to be a disaster, overhyped, because obviously when they were hyping it up, they thought, yeah, we can get this game out fine. The other thing that really pestered them is this certification from Microsoft and Sony. So because of Microsoft had this huge deal with them, and that's why Keanu Reeves was on their Xbox panel at E3 2019, and like they had a whole bunch of stuff with Microsoft at the time, and Sony hopped in on it as well.
Yeah.
So the game got past its certification stage with nobody doing anything. So it got through certification on Microsoft's end, and I think if Microsoft would have stepped in there, I think there wouldn't have been any problems. I think it would have been fine on console, because console is the real market that killed them. It would have been fine on consoles and like all fine and dandy, and I don't think anyone would have complained as much as they did. Because if you look at the direct market of people who are complaining, it was console players mostly, and then PC players were complaining about the smaller glitches, right? Like there was obviously the bigger glitches of like your game crashing and auto saves weren't really saving that well, which it is a big glitch, but it's not unheard of for these new games, right? Especially older games had this as well, where the game would just crash and they wouldn't be able to do anything.
But don't forget, it's a game with ray tracing that is made for next generation, and Cyberpunk is not even out yet on like the PS5 or even Xbox Series X or S. It's still on the old generation from 4 or 5 years ago.
It's actually not anymore, and this is all bringing it back to, if Microsoft and Sony would have just done their certification like they do on every game, this wouldn't have happened, right? They would have gone, okay, we'll push for a console release later. Yes, it may piss off some console players, but at the end of the day, it's better than putting the game out there full of bugs, unplayable, pulling it off, and then probably indefinitely postponing it on consoles.
Because when is the next generation for Cyberpunk coming out?
So it was never slated for a next gen release, right?
Oh, really?
Because Nvidia paid for so much of it that they couldn't get the certification for next gen, because for a game to be next gen before the next gen consoles are out, which at the time obviously it was going to be, they needed to get certification from Microsoft and Sony. Well, because they skipped through the certification process, they have to wait for it to release it on next gen. But Microsoft and Sony did the good thing of any game that's been able to be played on the old gens, so Xbox One or PlayStation 4, is going to be able to be played on the next gen, so Xbox Series.
Okay, so you're not going to have to pay like for another game. It's already going to be compatible for.
They did that, but obviously, like Miles Morales, it was going to be there's one that you can get the PS4 version, and then you get the PS5 version, and the PS5 version is better tailored to be looking better and running better on the PS5.
That's what I wish that the Sony or Microsoft Microsoft did it, but Sony would have done is you could have take like your PS4 account to work on next gen. But like you said, Spider-Man Miles Morales, there's the PS4 version that is, let's say, if you use the only 4K, but there's the PS5 version that is 4K, but you have ray tracing on it. But I would say it's not even like a DLC, so it's not like $20. It's an actual full new game. It's like $60. It's very expensive.
Yeah, I was looking at getting it, and that's why I got Bloodborne instead. And it's like, it's so expensive. It's you get it, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. Wait, this is just Spider-Man but retextured.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason me and my brother
changed the end a little bit, and you're like, well, fuck that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons me and my brother sold our PS4, because we were done with all the games that we wanted to do. So like The Last of Us, part 1, part 2, God of War, and then the first Spider-Man. But I didn't play the Spider-Man Miles Morales. I didn't. Well, first of all, we sold it. It was like sold like a month at least. But I kind of wish I would have kept it. But at the same time, not really, because I watched it on YouTube, and for me, I feel like it was enough. Like,
Yeah, like a lot of the new games that are coming out are story based.
yeah,
And they're starting to play more like TV shows or the good analogy that I've really seen is they're starting to play like movies.
that's
It's
the future
starting
of
to be-
video game
there's-
to me.
There's not as much choice, and it's just going to full story. And the thing about Persona, which I like, it has that movie feel, but you're in control a lot more. So, like in Last of Us, for example, it's very, very movie-like, where it's you're here, go to this objective, go to here. But with Persona, you got a little more leeway. Okay, well now, what do you want to do this day? Do you want to go to here? Do you want to go here? Do you want to go here? Do you want to go here?
Mhm.
What do you want to do? Here's your main objective. You have until here to complete it. What is it you want to do? And so a lot of the times, it's okay. Well, I use Persona as an example. There's plenty of other games like this, but like games like Persona are what I find is the better future. But not many companies are doing it, because what they can do, especially with something like The Last of Us, they make The Last of Us, they sign a movie contract, they make a movie for it, maybe 3 movies for it because of how long the game has to be. They make even more money. That's the money making scheme. But with games like Persona, they're not looking to make tons of money because it's a Japanese game. They're thinking, okay, well, let's say Sony, Nintendo, the big ones for like anime type games, Steam even, or PC, just in general, the PC community, they look at some of these games and they go, oh, well, yeah, I think that'd be good English. On Switch, there's a game called, it's a My Hero Academia game. I don't think you know what that is, but there's a My Hero Academia game, and it was completely Japanese for 3 months, or 4 months before the English release. And people were just going, you know what? The Switch is hackable. Let's just do this. So they started making English ports of it. And up until I think the day of release, the English port was as popular as the Japanese game itself.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
Nintendo sold double the copies they would in the Japanese market just because this English patch. And so Nintendo went, okay, well, let's, instead of just banning users outright that use this hack, let's go instead look at what they're doing. Okay, if they go online, so if you go on, like, let's say I boot up Smash Brothers and I'm hacked, that's an instant ban because I'm going online with a hacked Nintendo Switch. But if I'm just on the internet, just using my hacked Switch, not pirating any games, just kind of, I have the Japanese cartridge in my Switch and I put an English patch on it, I'm not playing the online mode, that's fine. Nintendo's now fine with that. So they won't ban your Switch for that. And I think Nintendo's getting better at respecting the community's decisions and respecting what the community wants because of it.
Yeah, so it's like the actor Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'll just show it on the stream what it is. Who said like the future of video game for him? A video game. He's an actor. He's an American actor that says the future of video game is pretty much what movie will be in, let's say, 10, 20 years. Like you brought that before you talk about everything else. I wanted to say is the future of video game is, let's say, like a movie. Like you said, which game do you said that it was going to be like? No, you didn't say that. What did you say again? You said about.
So I said Last of Us is like games like Last of Us are becoming more and more popular. So you got The Last of Us, which is going into the movie direction. So it's basically a playable movie. So they're thinking in the long run, okay, let's make 1, 2, 3 movies to pan out the entire game. Then you have other games. Persona is a really good example of it, where they have an anime for it, they have a manga for it, they have light novels for it, they have tons of things for it. But in the end, playing the game is like nothing else, because at the end of the day, when you're playing that game, you have the decision, you have the main objective, and then you have where you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Here's a few mini games you can play. Here's like tons of things you can do instead of the main objective.
Okay, yeah. That's a thing I like. Well, you're more the guy that play like those type of game, you know. Like, you know me. I'm not like really that. I'm more like Call of Duty and everything. But I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Like, even Call of Duty, yeah, you got those few different endings, but it still plays out like a movie, right?
Yeah,
Like,
true. You're
like
still
you-
you're still the character of the movie, but that's what I kind of like. I want to put back. It's kind of an old game from like 1 year ago. Red Dead Redemption. That's one of a
Red
hell
Dead
of a good
Redemption.
example. Like it's crazy.
Really good story, amazing story.
Bad ending to me, for me at least.
It plays like a movie. It feels like you're playing a movie, and you can look at IGN's reviews on it. They say it plays like a movie.
Yeah.
IGN saying that, you know it's true at that point, right? And like obviously people were like, "Oh, fucking amazing story!" Like Rockstar did an amazing job. But you look at it, you look back at it now, you look back after seeing The Last of Us, and you're like, it's the way games are going. They're
Yes.
playing like movies. They're becoming more and more just you're paying $80 to see this movie.
$80? Whoa, not $80.
80.
Oh,
Last
$80
of
for
Us
the
was
game.
80.
For the game. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's you end up paying $80 for movies, and then you look at it and you go, okay, well, there's a huge market in Let's Plays, so you end up uploading this $80 game to YouTube. You're making probably $80 over the entire Let's Play.
Yeah, but don't forget that it's an $80 movie that doesn't just last like at least like 2 hours. It's a movie that
Yeah,
can
it's
last
like a
12, 20 hours. You know, it's
20-30 hours, right? Like Red Dead is also an
It's
amazing
very
game,
long.
like Persona, right? Like they give you that main objective. It's like GTA. They give you that main objective.
Yep.
You don't want to do that main objective. Here's tons of other things you can do.
And you still have online
so-
and like online version of games, multiplayer. You still have a shit ton of storyline on that, like GTA. Let's say, like you said, you had all of those heist line and everything like that you could do with the Lester and everything like that. That was great. That's the thing I like about video game. Like not a lot of people get it.
There's tons of things you can do in some of these games.
Yes.
But you look back and you see The Last of Us. The Last of Us is the insane example of how games are going, which is why indie games not going that direction are skyrocketing.
80s, right?
Popularity.
Game of the year, isn't it?
Indie game. Last of Us won Game of the Year, but Hades was nominated. An indie game nominated for Game of the Year. I actually
Rare.
bought it.
It's
It's a fun ass game. I'm not gonna lie.
just like for this year. Among Us is crazy, indie game. Phasmophobia, indie game. 80s, indie game. 3 games. They were all of them. They were all at Game of the Year. Game Award.
Minecraft, as much as people hate to say it, is still an indie game at its core.
Yes, and it's crazy. It's blowing up. It's still crazy. Like,
They're-
yes, Among
they're
Us was an old
huge.
game, but if someone has just a little grain of salt to add it back to like the popularity that it needed, it's gonna blow up. And still today, there's a shit ton of people still play Among Us. Same thing with Phasmophobia, and they're cheap game. Like most of them are free, but some of them are like $5.
Yeah, like, and it's great, right? But eventually we'll come into the terms of like Among Us. I think now is going up to $7. And stuff like
Well-
that. Right? Like obviously they gotta pay for expenses, and you understand that servers cost a
Yes.
lot of money. So that's where the in-game currency comes in, right? Like Among Us came out with a bunch of like pets that you could get. Hats are now soon going to become DLC that you have to buy.
I'm gonna
with
correct
some,
you
like,
there. Among Us
events.
is $5.70 right now and $2.99 in the US at the moment.
Yeah, but they're thinking about upping the price, right?
Yeah, because there's a new update that's supposed to come out, or it's maybe already out, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But you look at the Switch version, I think is like $8 or $10.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you-
And like, yeah, it's just, to me, I find these games really interesting, and Nintendo really picks up on these games quickly as well. Like Among Us, I think 1 month after it started dying down in popularity, which its popularity only really lasted 2 months if you really think about it. Which is incredible. Nintendo was just able to turn this game around in 3 months on the Switch. Very little glitches, and obviously it's a smaller game, so it's not really like power hungry or something like that. And it was already out on Android. But
yeah.
at the same time, you're thinking it's incredible what Nintendo can do.
That's the
in long
reason,
run.
like, I can't wait for the, like, I hope they don't go back with the Wii and, like, Wii U or anything. I want them to keep tracking on the, keep, like, staying on the line of the Switch and making
Yeah,
a Switch 2.
the
Like, we have
hybrid
Switch Lite right now,
console.
but I want to keep that because the next Switch that's coming out, I'm buying it
Is-
100%.
Oh yeah, the Switch Pro is supposed to come out in April. I already me and a few buds at work, we already got it planned out. on like lunch break comes around and we're fucking snatching them all up.
That's the thing that Nintendo is doing very well compared to like Microsoft or Sony is yes, they have a specific type of community, but they do everything so well. It's very rare that they're gonna come out, let's say, with a game that's very buggy or even that it's gonna be disliked. Like let's say Animal Crossing, Mario Party, Smash. All those games, all like, let's say, not indie game, but you know what I mean? Everybody loves them. Even if you're not a, like, no, not just that. Even if you're not a gamer or even never heard of, like, Nintendo or anything, if I say, do you know the character Mario? And everybody's gonna say, yes, I know who that is, because it's so, oh yeah, it's so remarkable. Like, everybody remember them, because they're like, a figure for everybody. But like if I say, do you remember Abby from The Last of Us Part 2, everybody's gonna be like, who the fuck is that? Or even just say, do you remember Abby from that thing? They're gonna be like, no, I don't know that person, because they're not as much as Switch makes their character like for their audience, you know?
Yeah, I don't really understand. It's because Nintendo's grown this huge reputation over the years, and they've grown this huge thing over countless years, and so they have the support of the community behind them, but they're starting to kind of piss off the community right now.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
So it's like the Melee stuff, like all that stuff. And at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, okay, Melee, it's an older game. I see the both sides. I see Nintendo's side. They want you to legally buy the game. At the same time, I see the other side. You don't have a version of Smash that's up to date like that. And because of COVID, they had to use emulators like to play online with each other.
Yeah.
And Nintendo tried to take down that tournament. And it's like Nintendo's tournaments for Splatoon. It's like a $25 eShop gift card, and people are coming out saying they never got the $25 eShop gift card. So it's like,
oh, I didn't know that.
At the end of the day, it's like Nintendo's community side, not as good as but you also don't understand, what's Microsoft's community side like? Is there a Halo Pro League? Is there a Halo tournament?
I know, yeah, okay.
Or is Microsoft supporting it as much as like Nintendo might not be doing much, but they're doing more than like Sony or Microsoft on that point.
And things that Microsoft are winning is Game Pass, like everything, like on the Windows 10, you can still play like your Xbox game. That's the thing they're winning with for the community. It's very big for
Microsoft, that. Well, the thing with Microsoft is, Xbox is basically PC at this point.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So you look at that and you're like, okay, well, why the fuck should I buy an Xbox when I just get a PC that I can do more with? And then you look at Sony. Sony has PS Now. You can play games on PC. That's going to be the future for Sony. I guarantee it. There's going to be like PS Now exclusives and like all that shit. But yeah, like the big thing is consoles are dying.
Yep.
Other than Nintendo. Nintendo's growing crazy. Like if you look at PlayStation sales, the PS5 and Xbox Series X sold less than their counterparts did on launch.
Really?
From what I've read so far, they sold less. Obviously, that has to do with not meeting demand and like all this stuff, right? But at the same time, it's like I can still go down to my local EB Games, pick up a PS5 or Xbox Series X, no problem. But if I go to like Walmart, well, I can't get one then. If I go to Source, I can't get one. If I go online, I can't get one.
Oh, so really?
Because of COVID, I can't get one. But if I go down to the EB Games closest to my house, because I don't live in that huge community of people who want to get one, I can go walk right into the store. They may have one or two left of each console, but I can still get one.
That's interesting. I didn't know. Well, I knew, but you know what I mean, right? With everything is happening, it's kind of like, yeah.
But it's like because of COVID, there's like, because they're in a mall, I think they have to close a lot earlier. So like no one's able to get there in time. They close at like 2.
Yeah, that's the thing in
Canada.
Canada.
On weekends.
Well,
and it's like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You literally have to take a day off work to go get your console.
Yeah, I don't know how it works in Ontario, but you don't have a lockdown, right? Like, not a lockdown, a curfew.
We're in lockdown right now. We don't have a curfew.
Yeah, that's the thing we have here. If we have a curfew that starts at 8 and the curfew end at 5, not even, it's like 6 a.m., 5 or 6 a.m. You can't
At
like
5 a.m.
yes you can, but most stores close at least 2 hours before. That's like 6 p.m. and everybody like at
Most
least
stores that I know of close at curfew.
are very really not in Quebec. Most of the
No, I'm
stores.
like most bigger stores. I mean, like
Oh
Walmart,
yeah,
will,
yeah.
Target, not Target, grocery stores.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Or like EB Games in Quebec, I think closes at curfew. So it really just depends on the store. But obviously, like if the store's usually only open till 6, they're not going to stay open later to go to that
To
curfew.
go. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. What else? Do you have more things to tell us, Matthew? Because we did our part about video games. That's always fun. But in our stream, we love talking about politics, eh?
Biden got sworn in.
Yeah. No shit.
I keep seeing shit about that on Instagram. Like,
Yeah, I
this
know.
is my president. It's like stupid little fucking clips of people dressing up as Biden, like
So funny, dude.
skateboarding
On
or doing stuff
Twitter,
like that.
like
I find it funny, but at the same time, it's like
I,
you didn't do this for Obama. You didn't do this for any other president. Like
it's
you're
hilarious.
kind of just treating this as like a Trump is gone, but you actually look at what Trump has done, and you're like, oh,
Exactly.
it's not as bad as what they were saying in the media.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. So
like I
true,
wrote a
dude.
whole article about this for French class. It's like 4 pages long, got like 90 something on it, and I wrote about why media should remain neutral in times of election.
Yeah.
And so I wrote about this, and I went, what would happen if Fox said everything that Obama did that was bad, or that they said that he did was bad? What if they said during election time, yes, he did. Yes, he put. So let's say we find out about the Mexicans and changes before the election, before his second term election. He already started later in his second term, but let's say he did it in his first term, and they find out about this right before his second term. Well, let's say they find out about this. Fox obviously breaks the news,
Yeah.
and they'd go, Obama's caging Mexican children, taking them away from their family, and yada 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 yada. CNN, on the other hand, would go, Obama's controlling the border and like doing all this stuff. So I go, most people would look at that and go, okay, well, I know CNN is a lot more popular within people, and so they're a lot more trustworthy. So I believe CNN a little bit more, and that's just the way that people go. Then you like read Fox as well, and then you like most people who like, this is how I think most of the time is I'll read a Fox, or I'll see a Fox story and I'll go, oh, okay, well that's pretty bad. And then I'll read the CNN story and I'll go, okay, well that's not that bad. And then I draw my conclusion basically in the middle, and then I read third-party independent sources and see like, okay, what side does it lean more towards? And it's what I did for a lot of the Black Lives Matter shootings.
Yeah, you see a lot of that. I see a lot of that on Twitter because I'm a big guy on Twitter. I'm always like politic and everything. It's everywhere on Twitter. Like, you can't miss it. You go down a little bit, you see maybe one guy that you actually like to follow, and paf, it's there. And you don't even follow that person. Because usually it's a retweet from the person that you like or whatever. Like, it's always like that. But it's the thing I hear a lot, that I see a lot like on Twitter or anything, or even talking to friends or my family, is they all think that Joe Biden is going to die. And what's the woman? I forgot her name.
Yeah,
she's gonna take his
right,
place. Like
right when Biden was confirmed, I went on Instagram, and the first thing I see is our plan. The first step of our plan is in motion. I go, okay, well, what's their plan? And they were talking about how they didn't vote for Joe Biden. They voted for Kamala Harris. And so you're reading that and you go, okay, well, that's fucking weird. Why would they vote for Kamala Harris, even though she's the VP? And then I keep scrolling through and I see another post that explains it a little bit better. And it was obviously from the right, but it still explained the situation.
Yep.
And it was, they voted for Kamala Harris rather than Joe Biden because they know Joe Biden's not competent.
He's old too. She's what, in her 40s, something like that.
She's like in her 50s or something like that.
And he's what, 86?
Still pretty young, if I remember correctly. She's in her 50s.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, you're looking at all this and you're going, okay, so they voted for Kamala. rather than Joe Biden, because they know, let's say this Biden laptop then turns out to be true and it goes through it with it, and they impeach Biden. Well, that impeachment off of what they have on the laptop is far worse than the impeachments for Trump were. So that's probably going to get him kicked out of office. Well, Kamala's going to take over until the second term starts. Well, now you have a woman of color ruling the country.
True.
That's huge for the left.
Yeah. No
Right?
shit.
And one thing I was talking to my mom about this one day, and one thing that she says is the right doesn't like women in power.
That's
And-
the thing that I didn't. One thing I didn't like about what happened when who died. Like, it wasn't her statement before she died. I forgot her name, but it was like I forgot. I forgot. She's the judge, the big judge. You remember?
Oh yeah, I was about to say RBC.
Yeah. On her
Um,
statement, she wanted to for the next president to be to choose who's gonna be selected to be that person. I don't remember what it is, but Trump decided even to do it right before like he was gone as a president. You know.
hmm
So yeah, that's the thing too. Can't forget about that.
I think a lot of the words are misinterpreted right now. So right, like Black Lives Matter, when that whole thing was starting to come out, they were going on and on and on about these people are being selected. Well,
Mhm.
if you actually look at the stats, and it's a sad story, and you might get demonetized for this, but it's a sad story
It's fine.
because people of color are more likely to be in lower income.
Repeat that. We couldn't hear you.
So people of color are more likely to be in lower income places, right? So lower income
Yeah.
developments. I just would be the
That
word.
Joe Biden, not Joe Biden. There's a guy I watch. Well, everybody knows about him. Ben Shapiro explained this very well doing like a conference or something. He says exactly what you're trying to say. I don't know if I can look it up, but yeah, he explained it really well. Oh, what the heck? Your mic sounded very weird there, buddy. Hello?
Hmm?
Okay, for a second your mic did some like weird static, but yeah, keep going.
But yeah, so they're more likely to come in from lower income places. So, and what does this mean? Well, whether they're white, they're black, they're Hispanic, they're Muslim, they're Jewish, they're whatever, they are more likely to commit crime. Lower income places are more likely to commit crimes.
Yeah, with
On
the
a
stat.
90%, on a 90% basis, people who commit crimes are from lower income.
But I would be in this only in the States, like not everywhere it's like that. Like let's say Africa,
In
it's not like
Canada,
that.
it's like that.
Yeah, well, still in the
third-
US, in the
third
United
world
States.
countries,
Yes.
it's like that. It's in developing countries, as I think we're supposed to call them now, not first world countries.
Yeah.
Or third world countries. So, but in developing countries, the rate of poverty is like 80 to 90% in most of these places.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you look at that and you go, okay, well, the rate of poverty is so high. Obviously, there's like a 90% chance that if someone commits a crime in there, they'll be in lower income. So you're like, okay, that makes sense. But in the States, you look at lower income households, you look at gangs, for example. Gangs are more likely found in lower income places.
In the South, I would say like
suburbs and lower
yeah.
income, and like all that kind of stuff. So you look
Mhm.
at that and you go, okay, well that made sense now why there would be more police shootings in those places. And you look at all that and you look at, okay, well, let's look at all these things. 90% of the Black Lives Matter cases they were bringing up were not from middle class or lower middle class households. They were in lower class
Yeah.
suburbs and stuff like that. So you look at that and you go, okay, I can kind of understand why he committed the crime then. But at the same time, you go, who lives in these lower income places? The rate of colored people in these lower income places is like extremely high. And you look at it and you go, okay, well, that doesn't make much. That's racist because you're
It's
you're
in the
suppressing the lower.
it's
you're
in the
suppressing colored
stats.
people.
Like it's
then-
proven not like if you look at the stats for the past, let's say 20 years,
Back in 2015,
it's still going up.
You should see it.
It's going up.
Yeah.
It's always been like that. And keep going.
You can look at it. A lot of people will then say, well, that's white privilege, how they're able to get out of the suburbs. I am in a lower middle class family. right now. I'm on the border of lower middle class and middle class. So it gets to the point where it's like, okay, well, if I work my ass off, I can get middle class. And then you look at why these communities are still, or these colored communities are still in the lower middle class, and you go, well, they're committing more crimes.
And that's the thing that I feel like it's kind of sad. Because there's a lot of people that try to help, but I'm not gonna. I hope I'm not gonna sound wrong, but a lot of them is like they don't even want to try, like to even get the help or try to change or anything like that. It's some people grew up like that, but there's still a lot of people and like what should I call them? Like I forgot, but it's still very, very open for everyone to get help, but it doesn't really work. Like, let's stay in the US, because right now in Canada, it's very like weirdly open, but in the US, it's always like that. Like, when is it gonna stop? That's the thing. Is it ever gonna stop? Probably not, because that's how it is. And if it stopped, like, what change would we see? Like, these kids that decided not to go to school and do like those bad stuff like selling drugs or anything like that. I'm sorry, I'm 100% getting demonetized. Well, they chose that choice. They decided not to go to school and do that. And they got their education, like they got offered their education to get a good, like, let's say degree or whatever, like finish high school and everything. But they still choose to not do that, and they pretty much finish in prison. That's why it's so low, you know? Yeah.
Like, I always say this. You don't have to go out to university or college to get a degree to be successful. But
true. Like
finish
your
high school.
Like
get your high school diploma.
Yeah.
That at bare minimum should be a requirement to get a job anywhere.
Like here in Canada,
be in school or have your high school diploma.
Yes, exactly. Here in Canada, can you get like a 60K per year? Sorry, 60K per year with only your high school diploma. Even some people that only had their, like, what is it, or 11th grade, not even the 12th grade, you can still get that. But you will have to make, like, if you join, like, let's say you're
gonna have to work your ass off.
You'll have to work more doing that job, but over time you'll get back your credits, let's say, and maybe in a year or so, if it's only one credit, it's like a year or something like that, you finish that, you can get a very good job, like just like that. Poof, you're good. Some people decide, like, I know why you're going to university, because you want to invest in everything, like create your own business and everything. In law, yeah.
That's a big thing, right? Like, obviously, there's programs. I could go to U Ottawa, get my law degree in 4 years and my business degree at the same time. But I chose to go for 7 years in total, so that I can get my U.S. and Canadian law certificate.
Well, it would be your, in a way, visa, right? Because if you go work in the US,
it's not a visa. It's just like, so what it is that, and this is actually, I think I'm guaranteed a job, a law job, if I go through this program. So what I do is I can work anywhere near the border in Canada or the US.
Okay.
Without a visa or without a green card or whatever. I can work anywhere there, because I have my dual law degree, which means that I know the laws in the States and I know the laws in Canada.
Yeah. Well, it's most like I can
practice law in either of those countries.
Pretty much. Well, the States laws are a little different than in Canada, but you know what I mean.
That's why you need both degrees, right?
But I think you're still gonna learn that, like, in school, eh? Like
well, it's not like this isn't a lot of it is misunderstood about law school, right? It's not a lot of just like, here's
wait, I want to say something before, like,
what happens.
Matthew is very open, like, politically, more than me about the law and everything. I do follow that a lot. Like, I have my own opinion about everything, but that's why I let Matthew talk more. Jesus Christ, that was very loud.
I switched it like.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I let Matthew talk more about that because he's better than me than that. So if you don't hear me talk a lot, I just answer with yes. It's because I let Matthew do what he's good at, because I know that's what he wants to do. So keep going, Matthew.
So yeah, in law school, I think there's a lot of misconception. Like, what do you think law school would be like?
For me?
Like, other than a lot of hard work, what do you think it would be like?
Law school?
Yeah.
For me, not fun, to be honest.
But like, Like I'm talking about like educational. I said, what do you think you'd learn there? What do you
A
think
lot.
you'd do there?
It's like the army. It's like you become a different man or woman. Like if you go there.
But I'm talking about like you go into business school, right? They'll teach you about like I don't know
Yes.
into finances. So they teach you how to read graphs, how to
Yeah.
finance your money to become to save more and become richer later on in life and all that kind of stuff. But what do you think law degree would be like in that sense? Like, do you think it's more like you study the laws, you study cases, you study all that, and then you form opinions, you form contradictions and all that, and you go on to become a better lawyer? Or do you think it would be more like you sit down, write papers, read documents, write papers, read documents, write papers?
It's a
read
lot. It's a
case
lot of
studies.
but it's a lot
read-
of read paper and write, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot of that.
Like,
It's not only like the only thing because you don't see that in movies, right? But
you see
a lot of
the person-
thing about law is happening. All of it almost only in the background, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you see these movies, and Suits was one that I used to watch with my family. I watched like season 1 and 2 with my parents,
Hmm.
and I watched that with them. And I was really fucking interested in just the legal justice. And then I did some more research, and I found some more that were even like closer. And the more I dug into the law, the more I liked it. So that's why I decided to go with
Yeah.
law.
It's a good thing.
And
good.
so like I like found my path through there, and then I found out that I needed an undergrad for this subject. So I was like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do my undergrad in. And then I like thought back about it, and I was talking to my granddad about this in the car, how I want to do law, and he goes, oh, that's pretty good, but what if you can't get a job? What if you can't do all that? And then I went, okay, well, what has high employment rates out of their program? Well, engineering has a huge one. And then I looked into it, and I was like, fuck engineering, that's too fucking tough. So then I went, okay, well, let's look at the other programs offered in Ontario. So then I looked into military university, I looked into a bunch of other stuff, and in the end I decided on business, because business, as much as people, you'll look online or you'll read some books, they'll go, fuck university, you don't need that.
Like me.
Well,
That's
I
my
need it
opinion. That's
for
personally
law.
my opinion about like school after high school. Like, I'm more the guy that I want to travel a lot. That's my goal in life. And I feel like if I go to university, first of all, I'm gonna lose a lot of money and a lot of time going there. So if I get it like a good job that I enjoy, like my dream to me was, let's say, I wanted to do a lot of traveling, but staying as like a content creator. I always like to do like editing and all that shit. Like, maybe I sound like fucking weird and shit like that, but my goal right now is join the military. Well, join. I have to get call, go in, like do my basic training and everything, get a couple of money, get a like an apartment, a house, whatever. Finish paying my car and everything. After that, probably grow a little bit more on like the internet. And then if I'm big enough and I have a lot of money that I'm gonna invest a lot of money. If you don't know that about me, I'm gonna invest just like Matthew. I'm gonna travel a lot. Like my goal is to go North Pole, Arabia Saudite, Russia. Well, Russia I don't really know yet, but that's the thing. Like other thing in Europe and like the US. I'm probably gonna go with the army, so I don't really mind. But that's always been my goal. The thing with your job, it's the same thing. You're still gonna travel a lot, depending your case, right?
Mhm.
But like, let's say
Or
you're
you're not traveling to like Europe or or like California to do like a job. It's more of a travel,
Yes.
like going around the community, or
Exactly.
you're gathering suspects, you're gathering
Mhm. So yeah,
witnesses.
that's one of the reasons like I don't like school. First of all, I don't like to be sitting on a chair for like all day long. Like, yes, I do this like when I'm gaming and I'm streaming for like 8 hours long, but some stuff in school, let's say in high school, that's my opinion, I wish I would have learned the things I like and not like, let's say, art, because art is one of the things you need, right? In high school, it's you need at least art or
Yeah,
something like that. Maybe I'm not interested in that. Maybe I'm more interested in, like, let's say, wood shop, working with wood and making houses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or like you, politics, or even law, or anything like that. You know? So yeah, that's the thing I'm very open about. But I understand why the people goes, like you said, go to university, college, or you know what I mean?
Sometimes, like some professions, like this is a quote that I really like. Instead of going to university, it's not like I don't know if this is the actual quote, but I know the later part of the quote is true. Instead of going to university, graduating, working your 9 to 5 to make enough money to do what you want, find what you want to do and monetize it.
Yeah.
And I love that quote because at the end of the day, I love political talk, I love legal talk, I love business talk. That's what I love. So at the end of the day, me monetizing that doesn't require a university degree. I can go do the bar exam day I graduate high school. I can go do it.
I have a friend right now. That's what he's doing right now. He's gonna loan money from the bank, like I can loan money, right? And what he's gonna do is gonna invest that money and refund that money after, like, so he doesn't have any debt. Then make his own company. That's what I like about people. Like, you invest, you have enough money, you can make your own company. Like, that's what you're gonna do, right? You probably want to like make your own stuff, right?
Like, my plan, I told this to my parents, and I talk about it every day with my mom. My plan is work enough so that at least second year university, I buy a house and rent it out.
Yeah. My goal too.
As soon as you get that investment of renting out a house, you're making money.
And you have 4 years to make all that money go up, because you 4 years in university,
Obviously. The one other quote that I really like, and I think this is undermined as a quote, is don't invest in the market. Don't invest in real estate if you don't know how. Invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Whether that means taking $1,000, your last $1,000, investing $50 in it to learn a new skill, a Google advertisement, whatever that may be. Make that income through that. Then you take a little bit more money. You go buy books, you go buy all this stuff. And then that last $500 that you'll have, invest in whatever the fuck you want.
And that's how you're gonna,
whether that be you love reading, so you'll buy books. You love doing YouTube, so you'll put that down towards a smartphone payment. You love gaming, so you'll buy a console, whatever that may be. Invest in yourself with that last $500. And I love that when people say that, because it's a lot better than someone going, invest that $1,000 into the stock market, invest it in money bonds, invest it in your Roth IRA, invest in this and that and that. I love that quote about investing in yourself rather than what they tell you to. I love that a lot more.
Also, you have to think about, maybe with that, let's $500, maybe that $500 is gonna bring you to something way bigger than you ever expected. Let's say, because you did the right choice. Like, you didn't hesitate. You went with something that you like. Maybe that thing that you like is gonna bring you something else. Like, maybe you buy, let's say, I don't know, a car or whatever, and then you become like the best. I don't know. I'm just bullshitting a bunch of shit, but you know what I mean. Like, you become the best driver in the world, and you go work for the Formula One after that, and you stuff like that. You never know what it's gonna bring you to, like.
And one thing that people always forget: hard work pays off. You're never going to accomplish what you want in life by sitting on your ass and not doing what you want.
A lot of thing I like to see is, let's say I watched an old interview with Mr. Beast and Casey Neistat yesterday, and Mr. Beast said, like, he uploaded like a lot of video, and a lot of kids, or like teenager, maybe people like us that's 20 years old, whatever, they're all like, oh, I wish I could do that, but they don't even try.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, they say like Mr. Beast said, that amazed me, is Mr. Beast, when he started streaming, doing YouTube, or doing everything that he's doing right now to getting like where he's at right now, he filmed for a while with just a phone, like an iPhone, like an old like iPhone 4. Do you see where he is now? And a lot of people is like, oh, I can't afford it. Well, and then you see in their pocket they have like the latest iPhone that's like recording in 4K and have great quality camera, like,
in your pocket right there. You start a YouTube channel if that's what you want.
Maybe they're gonna say, oh, then I don't have a laptop to or a computer to edit. You can do that with your phone. There's an application for free in the Play Store, App Store. You can edit everything with it. That's how I started my old YouTube when I was like 10, 12 years old. I was editing my phone. It was working fine.
What I did is I begged my parents for a laptop, and we went to Best Buy, the day after Christmas, and we went, I want to play Minecraft. That's what I love to do.
You did
And I
do
went-
YouTube for a while.
And I went, I want to record and I want to edit off this laptop. My budget's $1,000. What can I do? And the first laptop the lady brought out, the one I did all my research on, I said, I want that one. She said, well, you know, if you want to play Minecraft with a few more mods and record, you're not going to really be able to off this laptop. And the thing I told her is I looked her dead in the eye and I said, this is how I start. That's all I told her.
And where the fuck are you
I was
now?
like 10 years old. And all I told her was, this is how it starts.
How the fuck do you remember? But I don't even remember what I ate yesterday.
Because that's literally the only part I remember.
Oh, okay. Well, it probably wasn't really that, but yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
So like that's how it started, right? And I did YouTube for maybe 3 years, grew at most, I think I had 300 subscribers, and I was happy with that, right? I had my little community, I had the jokes within my friends, and
I'm
I
happy.
stopped that for one specific reason. Because I wasn't making money.
But still,
And I
that for me,
stopping.
for me, I do it really like for fun, like streaming for 8 hours a day. I'm not gonna be like those Twitch tots that they're all like, if you don't subscribe to, if I don't get 500 subscriber, I'm not gonna stream ever. You know? If I get it, I get it. If I get the money, I don't mind. That's why I enjoy streaming so much. It's so fun. Like, first of all, you met a lot of people from other countries that you never knew that you gonna met. Like maybe by playing video game, they come to your Twitch for
I
a
still
reason.
talked to one of the guys that I knew. He made all my intros at the time, and I still talk to him. He runs like he makes intros for people to make money right now.
Yeah.
And I talked to him like a few days ago. I was like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, oh, not much. And he's from Greece.
Oh, really? That's the thing. That amazes me. Like meeting just people that I know I'm gonna remember.
I don't
You're-
talk to him much, but
Being a small content creator like Twitch streamer, YouTube, or whatever podcaster, all of your first viewer as a small content creator, they're always gonna be the one that you're gonna remember, even if you have 1,000 viewer per stream. And let's say usually you get 3, and then you're super big and get 1,000. The second you see your first viewer, they're always gonna be the one, oh yo dude, I remember you, dude. Fucking hell, you're one of my first one. I'm always gonna remember you. It's always like that. You're never gonna forget, except if you have like a huge fucking ego and you don't care, and the only reason why you're doing this is to make money.
Mhm.
Yes, you have the potential to make money. I get that.
Mhm.
But not people don't do that only for money, you know?
the thing that people don't understand is there's a line between investing all you have into YouTube and invest in all you have into YouTube, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Like when you say I invest everything I have into YouTube, you sound dead.
But I know that I want to enjoy like what I'm making, and I want the one that watch to enjoy what I'm making, you know?
Mhm.
That's the thing. Yeah. And I feel like that's a good end to end the podcast, to be honest.
But like I said, there's a big difference
Yeah.
in between investing in YouTube and investing in YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I want to end that right there because it's like perfect, I feel like.
So yeah,
Except if you have more thing to say, well,
no, I'm good.
been like for a good hour. That's a good fucking podcast. I tell you that right now. We talk about everything, like games,
Hour and 8 minutes.
politic, more games, content creator, and everything. Our future, you know?
Mhm.
I don't know if everybody's still there. Well, everybody we're like 4 for a good like average of the podcast, but I'm just gonna wait a couple minutes and see if they have any question. If they don't have any question, I'm just gonna stop it there and see you guys soon. Like I hope. Well, I say that a lot. Like we're gonna do a podcast now, and maybe our next podcast is gonna be like in 3 months. But I want to try to do more like very constant podcast because I'm starting a lot on YouTube. Like right now, it's kind of hard. Like last week I didn't upload on YouTube because my graphic card can't handle it anymore. I really needed my new RTX 3080, but stuff like that. Like we both got new mics, and now I feel like because of that, I want to do more podcasts because we both sound great. Well, you sound a little low. You have to practice talking a little louder because sometimes on the podcast,
I'm just getting the mic booster. That's why.
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't need it for now, but I'm slinging a bunch of shit. But yeah, I don't feel like anybody's still there. That was a great podcast. Thank you, Matthew. That was fun. Well, we should do more podcasts real soon. Like, I don't know when, but I want to say that was a great podcast. That was totally improvised, no paper or anything. Next podcast, let's say we just make a paper with just keyword, not like sentence, just one word. Because that was fine. We did a bunch, but I feel like there was a couple blank. But